Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Enfield haunting. Now, this is actually based on an apparently true event here in the UK that happened in the early 70s. So, the Enfield poltergeist is one of the more infamous ghost stories here in the UK. And this one was originally aired on Sky, which is a TV channel here, and was directed by Christopher Nyholm. I apologise if I get that name wrong, and stars Timothy Spall. Now, before I go much further into this review, I'll say that this is actually going to be the basis for the Conjuring 2 movie. So the Conjuring 2 will be coming out at some point, probably in 2016, I believe, and it is based on the same story that this one's based on. So, if you want to get a preview of that movie, you may want to check out this mini-series. So the story here basically is this family, a single mother and her 4 kids, although we don't really see one of the kids because he's kind of in a stay over school somewhere. He's basically being menaced by this kind of malevolent poltergeist that has taken an interest in this family, in particular one of the daughters. And there's increasing attacks on this family with the kind of scary stuff happening. And it attracts media attention and also these kind of paranormal investigators, one of which is played by Timothy Spall. And he's basically dealing with his kind of own tragic past. And initially he's at odds with the kind of the second guy, but they kind of obviously find a common bond and all of that. And really the story is them trying to find out what's happening, kind of unravel this kind of mystery and try and put a stop with it. Now that's kind of all I'll say about the plot of this kind of TV series. I will say this, this film TV series, however you watch it, like I said, it's based on true events, although when you watch this TV series, you'll see stuff happen on screen. So in the universe this kind of TV series exists, this ghost is real, this actually happens. We see stuff on screen. But the actual case was a little bit more murky than this, where we had some of the paranormal investigators very much believing the actual kind of events here. However, it was proven that these girls were faking at least some of the stuff. Now, because they were faking some of the stuff and it was proven to be a fact that they were doing that, it obviously throws doubt on the whole thing. So, and this series doesn't really kind of deal with that. There is one scene when they kind of change their tune. They decide to kind of try and get rid of the media attention. But, I feel that this kind of TV series didn't deal with that particular element of it. So you only really watch this as if you're totally buying into the fact that this is really happening. But anyway. So this is, like I say, a 3-part series. So if you're watching it in the film format, it's kind of fairly long. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this TV series. It was very well made. It's very British. One of the things I kind of liked about this, and if you're not from the UK, you may kind of think, oh, they're kind of acting weird. But all this stuff, crazy stuff, starts to happen. But the family just kind of like experience it and then kind of just try and get on with their day and kind of just be polite about it and kind of almost sweep it under the rug until the next event happens. And just, it's very British. It's a very British way of kind of dealing with stuff, which I found quite amusing. So if you compare this to something like The Conjuring, the way the family acts is kind of a little bit different. It's just this kind of the very Britishness about it, which, being British, I kind of enjoyed. What I did like about it as well is that I thought with the mini-series, sometimes they can kind of take a while to get going, but I was pleased with this one that it doesn't. It kind of gets going sort of straight away, and we kind of start to see the paranormal stuff happen fairly early on, so you're not kind of waiting ages and ages and ages until something actually happens. It all happens pretty quick. I have to say, I really enjoyed the acting as well. Thought the acting here was all very, very good. And the special effects as well, although it's not a special effects extravaganza, I did enjoy special effects. I thought they were done well. A lot of it is kind of audio, but there are some decent kind of visual effects as well. If I had to have some criticisms of this one, I would say that the last episode, or if you're watching it as the movie, the last kind of act, I guess, is a little weak. I feel it was kind of wrapped up a little bit too kind of quickly. And I don't know, there was just some elements in kind of the last episode that I didn't feel quite worked, so it kind of just fell apart a little bit for me. And not completely, but it's kind of started. Some kind of things were kind of left a little bit unravelled, really. So I didn't think the third part of this kind of series was made quite to the standard of the first two. And the other thing, like I've mentioned, is I don't feel it was. I mean, this is made as a piece of entertainment, but if you would have watched this, you would 100% say this definitely could have happened. These things definitely happened. But I felt they neglected to kind of like shine the light on the fact that these kind of this family, these girls specifically, these kind of two sisters, were caught faking stuff. So if you could watch this and only take this kind of TV series word for it, you would say this totally happened. So it maybe pick and choose the bits that they kind of wanted. But I guess you can say that's true of any kind of like historical TV series or movie, whatever, basically. However, it was thoroughly engaging. It was well acted, it was well written, well directed. Just the kind of the last episode was definitely a kind of a little weaker in my opinion. But overall, very enjoyable. I would highly recommend it if you're a kind of a ghost story fan. If you enjoyed The Conjuring as well, definitely check this out, because like I said, this will maybe kind of prep you for the Conjuring 2. Although the Warrens aren't actually in this one, and obviously they are going to be in the Conjuring 2. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Let me know, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.